Hello everybody, I'm Anthony Rockers Liberty Yellow Celebrated. Today is day 23 of 30 Day Song Challenge. And this one is going to be a song title that has a color in it or something like that. A song that has color in the title. But this one I decided to choose one of my favorite metal bands of all times, Black Sabbath, and the song is, oh you guessed it, Black Sabbath. I mean, can we please be more democratic than that? But all right, let me go on and say this: that I believe this is the first song they've ever released on the record because it was from the same record, the self-titled debut album, Black Sabbath, off the same name. And I will say the song itself is actually pretty good, and I will say in the intro, especially when you talk about the intro, like the chimes, especially not to mention you hear like the chimes, like the bells, and then you hear one of the most memorable song riffs from this song is that dum dum dum, like oh my gosh, that intro is freaking haunting as crap. Unless if it's your thing, you may not gonna like it. I mean, especially not to mention they added like a storm effect that is very pretty much one of the biggest things that's ever happened in that era in the early 70s or the late 60s, if you will, because the lightning and thunder effect was huge because this was also used in Paul McCartney's Uncle Albert slash Admiral Halsey, where they use a storm effect in the middle of the because there's a two-part song in it, and that one was used for a storm. They also used Riders on a Storm, which it definitely fits for that sound effect that they use from the Doors. And I know a lot of people probably don't like get into the Doors music. That's okay. I mean, not everybody loves all bands. We can all be different. But back to Black Sabbath. This song, not to mention, has a very memorable riff, even in this song. I will say Ozzy Osbourne, his vocals in this song, I'm not a big fan of. It's not one of my favorites. I don't hate it, but I will say Ozzy Osbourne has a very memorable voice from any other rock or hard rock, or you could basically call it heavy metal band, because many people would consider them doom metal because of how low the distortion of the instruments, especially the guitars, especially the lyrical context that talks about literally Satan or demons, stuff like that. Which I don't really consider them have Black Sabbath doom metal, but if you're talking about like as like a band overall, I would consider more of a heavy metal band because they are definitely personally one of my favorite bands, and not only they're one of my favorite bands, but I will say they are one of the biggest inspiration for bands out there because we have tons of inspirations from pretty much metal bands, especially not to mention they are definitely one of the most important, if not the most important bands. I will say they're one of the kind of greatest and important bands that we've ever gotten from music, besides the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and all that stuff. But Black Sabbath is definitely one of the most important bands so far we've gotten from music. And Ozzy Osbourne, his vocals in this one, I'm not a big fan of, but I am a big fan of the instruments in the background more, because especially even though the riff sounds really cool, even though I think it was used in the verses, yeah, it was used in the verses. It was great. I think the guitar basically my favorite part of the song is basically the guitar riff. And I mean that's Tony Iommi. Tony Iommi, his guitar riff, especially like some of the songs that he's done. Oh my gosh, it's so good too. And I'm a bigger fan of when Ozzy Osbourne was a band, but don't get me wrong, I am familiar with Ronnie James Dio. If you don't know him, he's a replacement of Ozzy Osbourne from the Black Sabbath. And I will say Dio is actually a really awesome guy. He's actually awesome. And I will say him as a vocals, he's pretty good. I mean, I would not say it's better than Ozzy Osbourne, but he's as a good vocals as Ozzy Osbourne personally. And if you guys don't know, I mean, a lot of metalheads probably don't know this because if you're if you're a person who is listening to music and you don't like, if you want to look it up, who created like the horns, which is used a lot in metal. And that's why I do this in my intro all the time, because I'm a metalhead who's not only my favorite subgenres is heavy metal, but it's also thrash metal. And there's tons of music genres that is my least favorite, but I can seek out to it again. But the ones in the bottom is I hate. Like the hate means like I'm not going to go back to it. So here's the thing: Ronnie James Dio, he passed away. I believe it was a couple years ago, 2010, I believe. I could be wrong, but that's sad. That sucks too, because he's the guy who created the horns too. By the way, or he was known for popularizing. So I'm guessing he was the guy who created it. So back to the Black Sabbath song. So there's not really anything changing, but I will say the ending was a little faster. It picked up a faster tempo, which is actually a nice change. I will say. But this song, I was not a big fan of it when I first heard it, but when I first listened to it, I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty good. But when I started to listen to it the second time, I was like, wow, this is starting to get awesome. I mean, the guitar riff is basically my favorite part. I mean, Tony Iommi, he's definitely one of my favorite guitar players so far, along with Robert Plant and Kirk Hammett so far. Well, there's a tons of guitar players I wouldn't name offhand, but this is going to be like, keeping this video short. So yeah, this is a video this is a song I choose for a song title that has a color in it. And no, I'm not trying to be so like, democratic or trying to be, throwing politics. No, I don't want to do that because this channel is not about politics. This channel is about my opinion on music and how I think about music, especially not to mention modern radios. And by the way, this is a metalhead who actually hates modern pop music, and not to mention I can actually listen to like a couple of like, I mean, not a lot, but like a little bit of a couple of rappers and pop musicians, but not a whole lot. It's not a go to for me. But especially I'm a metalhead who actually loves classical a lot more than pop and rap music personally, because it has mostly because I guess the reason why I love classical music is mostly because it has dynamic in it too, because it has a very awesome changes in the instruments that the conductor uses in the classical music, which I always love too. And it's actually quite interesting personally. So final thoughts, this song is great. I will say this song is good, but it's not my favorite, not the best song from Black Sabbath, but it's actually, and especially I already said earlier that it's not one of my favorite vocals by Ozzy Osbourne. Not that I hate his vocals, but I will say I'm so glad that I'm actually very glad that he's still alive today. I'm so glad too, and it's crazy to think about it because what he was doing at the time, and you would think like, oh, he's dead, but no, he is alive. Holy crap! And he's still living today. But if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications to go directly to that video, and let me know in the comments down below what song title that has a color in it. Like, it could be any color. Like, of course, we already know all the colors. But let me know in the comments down below what color would you put. Because I know, especially when I was about to make this video, I know Michael Jackson fans are going to think I'm going to put black and white. But honestly, I love this song, Black and White. But I forgot to put that. I was in a rush at the time. So I decided to put Black Sabbath because I just wanted to show you how much open up I am to other bands and musicians too, because I don't think in this channel I talked about Black Sabbath at all, literally. But I talked about Michael Jackson a lot. Like, well, not lately, but I used to talk about him a lot. But not because I'm done being on his side. I'm still going to be on his side. Just don't. If Michael Jackson is like the channel, because if fans of Michael Jackson who are watching this, don't worry if you're thinking like I haven't made videos of MJ a lot lately. It's not because I'm on the accuser's side. No, I am on MJ's side because not only because of his music that actually did really better than most accusers that don't even know what they're doing with their lives, but the reason why I haven't made videos is because this is a music, because I'm a metalhead, and not only that, and that's coming from a metalhead who actually loves pop music. Well, don't get me wrong, Michael Jackson's music is really good. Don't get me wrong, and I will say I'm still on MJ's side. I will always be, even in the future. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So my social media are in the description, Facebook, Instagram, and I will see you in the next video. Change the world, peace and love, and also keep at banging. And yes, as of now, I am actually going to get. I'm actually going to get the Black Sabbath self-titled debut album. I'm going to get that in the future, so that later on I'm going to do an album review after I'm done doing this 30-day song challenge. That's almost done. So we're only got like 7 more days left. So yeah, this is for fun. This is not like trying to win something. This is just stuff for fun. I will see you in the next video. All right, keep headbanging. I was about to do the same outro again. Keep headbanging. Yeah.